The American Revolution.
Government became involved. Members of the colonies worried that they would lose their freedom and be persecuted. Members of the colonies didn't agree with paying taxes to Britain. This led to their motto, no taxation without representation. Colonies didn't like the laws imposed on them by Britain, including the Sugar Act, the Tea Act, and the Stamp Act. Members of the colonies were constantly being punished by the British for rioting, which made them even angrier.
The Boston Port Act forced the colonies to pay for the tea they had destroyed in what came to be called the Boston Tea Party, before the port would be reopened, which angered the locals and scared others. The Tea Act of 1773 was imposed on American colonies by the British government. The act intended to subsidize the struggling East Indian Company, which was very important for the British economy, and the Tea Act would raise money from the 13 colonies for it. The people of the colonies did not agree with the unfair taxes they had paid, and as a result destroyed over 90,000 pounds worth of tea in the Boston Tea Party of December 16, 1773. The American protesters boarded 3 trade ships in the Boston harbor and threw 342 wooden chests of tea into the water. In today's money, the tea would have been worth roughly $1 million.
The Stamp Act was another tax imposed on the American colonies by the British in 1765. The tax covered printed materials, specifically newspaper magazines and any legal documents. It was named the Stamp Act because when the materials were purchased, they were given an official stamp to show that the buyer had paid the new tax. The Boston Massacre. The Boston Massacre started because the local people were taunting British soldiers, shouting and threatening them because they did not agree with the British Army having a place in
The war with battles at Lexington and
official government of United States was defined through the Articles of Confederation on March 2, 1781.
The last major battle of the American Revolutionary War took place at the Battle of Yorktown. General Cornwallis surrendered, marking the unofficial end of the war.
The war ended in 1783, and the United States of America was born by April 9, 1784. King George III ratified the treaty.